Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the FE Bar as we're looking back at this weekend's Berlin E Prix, which saw Nico Müller and Mitch Evans triumph. We've got a lot of stuff to get into. It's our first show in 6 weeks, and so we've had the Gen 4 launch. We have some silly season rumours. Evans is moving on from Jaguar after 10 years there. Lucas Di Grassi is retiring at the end of season 12, and as you may have guessed, I'm not Jack Jordan-Maynor. He is about to get on a flight back home from Berlin, which means that I am in the hot seat, which is very, very worrying. So good luck, everyone. And I've spent the last couple of days just trying to make sure that everything works, and then spent the last 2 minutes going, why isn't it going live? Why isn't it going live? Why isn't it going live? So thankfully, to take some of the little bit of the stress off of me tonight is Kyle from Current Lap. Kyle, good evening.
Hello, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in Formula E for one, but good to be back on the show. You're looking very smart.
Thank you. Yeah. I thought if I'm hosting, I got to dress to the nines. So yeah, I thought why not go for the full suit.
It's like watching like a proper pundit, when they sit on the Sky Sports and they with the microphones. It's like that's how it is. You're the FE version.
Yeah, I to be fair, I look like I should be at the Kentucky Derby instead of hosting this, but alas, here I am instead. So yeah, we've got loads of stuff to get into. Yeah. So, Berlin at the weekend, what do you make of it?
It was hectic. I think a lot of the qualies were different to the races. They all felt like 4 separate events, which I thought was awesome. Obviously, it's an iconic circuit for us. I think it's our most historic one on the calendar. So, I did enjoy it. It was a lot going on. As you said, a lot to discuss, and I don't think either of the races were similar in any way. Obviously, we know we have pit boost and not pit boost, but yeah. What about you? How did you find it?
Yeah, I think for one race, obviously we had the first race on the Saturday, which was the pit boost race, and then the non-pit boost race. I am finding myself much more preferring the pit boost style of racing because it kind of breaks up that peloton. Whereas I think Sunday, and I did make my opinions clear in the chat. Wasn't a huge fan of it, so so yeah, I think definitely the Saturday race was a lot more excitable. But yeah, Nico Müller, 69 attempts, and finally he's got to it. He is now the longest. It's the longest time anyone's taken from their first race to take a victory in Formula E. Beats Dan Tickton by 9 races to that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a place to do it as well, at Porsche's home ground in their back garden. So special livery and special day for Müller, I think. Yeah, and that's now 6 winners we've had different across the season. So yeah, we couldn't ask for anything more, could we, Jack?
Yeah, it's been a solid kind of mixed up season so far. The championship's starting to hot up as well. We've got Wehrlein leading the championship. Mortara a little bit. I think he's. I'm not sure if it's Evans or Mortara or the other way around. But yeah, it's second and
Evans second now.
Yeah. Evans now at second. Mortara third, and Roland he's creeping in there in fourth. He had a really solid weekend in getting a third on Saturday, then a second on Sunday.
Yeah, I think like I said, the standings. I mean, I feel bad for Mortara because he had the championship in his hands for about 12 hours, didn't he? And then the second race happened, and he's now in third, I think. Which, yeah, I still think he's probably been one of the most consistent drivers, and also can get another pole position. Like he's getting points. He's just not winning any races, but I'm sure it will come.
Yeah, I've made my first faux pas. I clicked off you. I apologise. I need to keep on that screen. I need to keep you on that screen. I'm new to this. I'm genuinely learning. But yeah. So yeah. But yeah, do you think that now Muller's got to that? Obviously, he had the pole in Miami earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. He's now got his first podium. He then had his first podium with Porsche. Then got on to and now he's got his Now he's got his win. Do you think that him getting that seat is justified now? Because there was a lot going into this season of Nico didn't really pull his weight at Andretti last year, and even though Da Costa has had his mind set on leaving Porsche and going to Jaguar, do you feel that Nico getting that seat is now utterly and truly deserved?
But I do now. I'll hold my hands up, and I did think he didn't deserve it. I just thought they were big boots to fill, and I just thought no, I wasn't buying it. But actually, looking at him now, he's an excellent rear gunner, and I think in going back to Madrid, he played the team game there, and I think to fit into Porsche, you've got to deal with the pressure, and you've got to be, you're dealing with Pascal Wehrlein, so there's a lot of pressure for you to score. But I think they've been consistent together, which is really good. Obviously, they did it in Miami, and are now seeing this result where he just capitalised. I think he's earned his place, and I think he's going to have that come Gen 4 because he's a good caliber driver for Porsche. He can deal with the pressure. And was he overshadowed by Jake Dennis in Andretti? Because Dennis had an okay weekend in an okay car. So in this generation, and obviously, I do think he's a full Porsche driver now in my books.
Yeah, and then going into the Sunday race, something, even though Saturday was a bit of a peloton race, even though the pit boost did break it up a little bit, which is what, I mean, that's what I like. But in the Sunday race, there was it was a lot more pelotony, and Mitch Evans came through from 17th to the win. Now, last season we saw Nick Cassidy come from 20th to win the race, and the other two people who were on the podium came from 18th and 16th on the grid. And we saw that on Sunday that there were a lot of drivers who didn't bother with qualifying to just sit at the back and then conserve energy at the start and then go from there. I mean, Roland had a problem at the start, and he was in the top 3 by lap 15 or something like that.
Yeah, I think qualifying was a little bit separate to the race, wasn't it? It was kind of like its own little thing, and I mean, we're quite used to last coming to the front. We've did it in numerous races, and that's what's good about Formula E. But if it's being played to as in, they're like, okay, we won't try and quali because we'll have the better start. Is it something they look at in the rules and regs? Because if it's to do with just the tyres, then can they put another compound in, another set of tyres in for the race, just so people do try? Or is this something they're going to try and eradicate by Gen 4? Because obviously that's going to be a completely different being, isn't it? So.
We'll have to say, speaking of drivers coming from the back to the front, Lucas Di Grassi for Lola, he started down in 19th on the Saturday race. He was up there with Zane. Lola had a 1-2. How nice was it to see Lola back at the front of the field?
Yeah, it was. I wish if it had stayed the way it was when they were at the front. It was nice seeing what I call the underdogs, because I always think that Lola are on the back foot, but they're kind of like the newest, and they're also on their own. Obviously, their powertrain is very unique to them. But to see those two cars at the front, I was like, yes, that's what we want to see. Get more than 1 point on the board, because I feel like Zane Maloney's an absolute class driver. I just think he's not had the package, and I think he showed in qualifying how good he actually is. Like, he got in there twice into the duels, which is just really good for them. So, and maybe if they had a different strategy, they might have got more out of the race. But it was definitely nice to see the big yellow car at the front now.
Yeah, I know that Zane, because he spoke to Jack after the race, and you can go and see that on the YouTube channel. Not now, because we're obviously doing this, but afterwards you can go. Yeah, you can go and watch the post-race interviews that we've got on the YouTube channel. But but Zane was saying to Jack that the Lola in 350 isn't like the Porsche or the Jaguar or the Nissan in 350, even though it's the same. Even though it's the same power outage and everything like that, the efficiency just isn't there, so they have to lift and coast more when they're in 350 compared to what they had before. And why does that say lost connection? I'm hoping I'm still here. I'm hoping I'm still here. Okay, no, it's gone again. It's gone again. I'm so paranoid today. Sorry. What's on about? Lola, yeah. Lola.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Talk.
Lola, yeah. I didn't know too much. Obviously, I know that there are a slight difference in the powertrains and the way the cars operate. So I just didn't notice to that point. Obviously, I know efficiency comes from software. We've seen this with Kiro in the last couple of years and how they've sort of got on top of that now. Which I guess we're going to talk about Dan Tickton tonight. There'll be someone out there that wants to put that name in the chat. So, but yeah, I think Lola. I think come Gen 4, I really hope that they're kind of set at the same level as everyone else. Like just reset the board. Obviously, are we going to talk about Degrassi and his big news this week? But hopefully, Zane Maloney will lead that team with whoever takes that second seat.
Yeah, let's talk about Degrassi because there has been a little bit of silly season. This is the thing with not being on the air for 6 weeks. We've got so many topics that we can kind of rattle through tonight. So I'm delighted because it means that we have got stuff to fill with. But yeah, Lucas has decided that he's going to retire at the end of this season. Are you surprised by that? I know that he hasn't had the greatest in Gen 3, apart from that pole at the start of Gen 3 in the Mahindra. I'd say it hasn't been that kind to him.
Yeah, he's obviously he's old school and he's Gen 1. He's a good driver for this sport. He's obviously had a hand in everything. I think he was part of the testing in Donington, I think, originally, wasn't it? I think you know the history better than I do. So I don't know who came first though. Was it Jack or was it Degrassi in Formula E? But
I think it was probably Degrassi. I know that Jack was at that very first test, but Degrassi and Agag. So Agag signed Degrassi as like as a driver consultant thing, way before he did that. He did like the run down the Vegas strip in the prototype Formula E car. And so yeah, he's been very much a day one. Are you surprised he didn't stick around for Gen 4 though? Because everyone's been so hyped about driving the Gen 4 that a lot of these drivers wanted to kind of stick around for it. So are you surprised that he's gone of his own volition? Before...
I think that has, it makes no sense, does it? Like, at least, I mean, it looks like a monster. So and I think it would have been a good time to transition to it, but maybe he's just not feeling it. Like, does he know something? Is he staying within the paddock? Do you know, Jack? Is he going to keep his ties with Formula E and go into more the development side of the cars off the track?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I believe he is going to stay in Formula E. I think he's been very kind of open about staying in Formula E. It's just that he's not going to be a driver from the end of this season, which is a shame because I did see a comment. I was watching an F1 versus Formula E comparison video the other day, and someone said, but for like Gen 4 versus like it's on like Assetto Corsa or something like that, and someone said, wouldn't it be funny if Degrassi could beat his Virgin Formula 1 time from 2010 in the Gen 4 car next season? And do you know what? That would have been wonderful, but we're not going to see it, unfortunately. That the fastest car that he would have driven in around Monaco could have been a Formula E car, not a Formula 1 car. But yeah,
I think it would be interesting to see when we transition into Gen 4. Obviously, you were lucky enough to go to the launch event, weren't you? And how was that?
Yes, no, that was very fun, and we've got a few stuff a few things that will hopefully be coming out on the channel over the course of the next few weeks or so. We just need to dot some I's, cross some T's, and hopefully it will be out. Right, should we get some people in?
I think it's time.
Oh, God. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully it goes well. Because this show doesn't work without you. So, !Discord in chat if you are not in the Discord already, and you can pop into the FE bar waiting room, and we will get you on. We are very kind of stuck. We are trialing this new system today where if you have kind of booked on, we will try and get you on in your allocated time, but bear in mind, I've never done this before.
When they're having technical issues.
Yeah, no, but yeah, bear in mind, I've never done this before, so I've got no idea. So we're gonna find out together, everyone. Right, so let's get Kimo Sabi on because I think Natalie said that she didn't want to go first. So I'm going to get Kimo Sabi. You are in the FE bar. If you could unmute and come and give us what would you like to talk about?
Hi, I wasn't expecting to be first, but that's fine.
Congrats! You're my first guest as host, so congratulations.
Let's go. Well, I wanted to talk about both the peloton race on Sunday compared to the pit boost races, and also I saw a comment in the chat that was mentioning the issues that the fans had when attending the Berlin E Prix. And the thing is, well, I know you guys because I follow you and you follow me on Instagram, the meme account, the Formula E memes, Formula E addicts account. So you haven't seen my face probably, but I have seen yours now. Sorry. And the thing is that a few years ago, I was able to contact Jeff Dodds, and I made this document giving him feedback because I'm one of the administrators of the Formula E addicts groups on Facebook, which now it's pretty much dead because it's only old people over there, and I've been trying to revive it lately, but it's a struggle.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm a member. I think both me and Ed Hunter, who does some editing for Formula E Zone, both used to be admins back in the day, but I don't use Facebook enough anymore. Which, yeah.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I wanted to create these, Instagram, TikTok accounts to make some more Formula E content to reach the actual target audience, which is the younger generation. It was kind of cool because back in the day, I could see that we had Jake Dennis' mom in the Facebook group, and I would ask her, okay, what's the top speed of the Gen 3 car? And she would reply, and she would tell me, I'm going to ask him tomorrow. And then she told me it was a 280 in the United States, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, kind of impressive and kind of cool, but there's that. So going back to what I mentioned, because my idea was to mention all these issues that Formula E has when it comes to marketing and, taking care of the fans sometimes. 3 years ago, I attended the Rome Eprix, the last one that it was
Yes,
held.
yeah, I remember that one. Was that the one that was in July, the really hot one?
Yes, I'm
Spaniard, I
Spaniard,
remember that.
So I'm supposed to be more resistant to
sun. Okay, yeah.
And I was burning. Everyone suffered that day. So and again, Jeff Dodds, he's amazing. I never expected him to reply my email. I gave him feedback because we run like a poll saying, okay, there's this chance to communicate, with the CEO and tell him, which things would you improve about the championship and all that. And then by myself, I tried to redact a PDF document. Quite sad, actually, if I have a look at it now. Like the styling and all that was up, but still. And one of the ideas was like, why don't you install awnings? I think that's a word to help the fans protect themselves from the sun. And then this weekend, I saw these comments, thanks to Fiercely Electric as well, which I follow her on Instagram. She's lovely. You all know her. Yeah. And the fans were complaining about not having access to water, not enough shade. And now while I was reading the chat, I saw the same. And I keep wondering sometimes if they truly get the feedback that we give them. Like they really need to listen, because there are some chronicle issues. Like, for example, again, I make memes with the idea of exposing the Formula E to new people. And I keep seeing the same comments. Oh, where can I see the race?
Yeah.
And it's big 2026. It's been 12 years. It's like, can we fix that? Could we please fix that? And now with the comments made by the fans in Berlin, it's like, oh, they really didn't learn their lessons from the Rome Prix. And again, it saddens me because it looks like I'm hating on the championship. I absolutely adore this championship. I love it to bits. My dream is to one day get to work for them and improve certain areas. It's a long shot, of course. But the thing is that I would love to find a way to make them, to have them read, to make them receive these messages so everyone benefits from it. And again, another issue that I wanted to mention is how to watch things. For example, here in Spain, if you want to watch a quali, you need to watch it through a website, either from one of the Spanish national TVs or marca.com, which is a sports website. And
Yeah.
then these other websites, Soy Motor, only started showing the qualifying like 3 minutes before it started. So nobody knew about it. I wasn't even sure that they were going to show it. And we are in a very important year because I think this is the year where you need to gather as many fans as possible before we move on to the Gen 4, which will hopefully bring lots of new fans. And the championship has to look as professional as it can look with certain areas because it's a big deal now. It's not back in season 1 where everyone was like, oh, look at them, they are switching cars. No, they are top tier cars now, top tier drivers now. They are racing in places that pretty much every category would dream to be racing in. So yeah, that's one of my concerns. And I was going to ask you: Do you feel like nowadays Formula E and the people that are in charge are able to take into feedback? You've been here doing this since forever, making videos, covering the races and everything. How is that relationship between, the head of the table and us, I don't know how to put it, like fans, the content creators that want the best for the sport?
Yeah, I completely get that, and I think it's definitely something that they are working on. I know that certainly this season, it's been substantially kind of different. Formula E have taken us a little bit under their wing, and like I like me and Jack, we were invited out to the launch for Gen 4 in France a couple of weeks ago, and that was surreal for us. That was kind of like our like Everest being invited out to those to those kind of events. Whatever happens on top of that is a bonus, basically. But I do know that Formula E do also look at this show, so they will be listening. They will take everything on board, because I know that certain people do, because we've had it on a few occasions where people have come up to us from inside the paddock and just said, oh, by the way, on this thing, something that we mentioned on the bar, and then they go on from there. Which so they do pay attention. I'm sure they'll skip through parts of this, and you never know. Part of this may be taken on board. But yeah,
That's amazing. And one thing that I was thinking about today is like, would it be possible for Formula E to contact universities that are forming journalists and help them become commentators, and maybe in the future? So instead of depending on for instance, the sad, boring Eurosport commentators that we get here in Spain or across Europe, to get our own commentators of people that know about the sport, that care about the sport, because I think the branding is another issue. If you're watching Formula E for the very first time, and what you see is that the commentators do not want to be there, and they are just not taking things seriously, it's really hard for you as a fan, myself, to enjoy the show, because sometimes I'm like, I just want to mute them. They got the drivers wrong again. They keep confusing the names, and it's really tiring, and it does affect the branding. It's small things that I think they could fix, especially now that Formula E will have even more weight in the world of motorsports when it comes to, okay, I want my racing, my category to look well. Because if you watch a Formula One race, even those that are extremely boring, and with everything that has happened with the regulations, you can tell that the commentators are trying to protect the product as much as possible. You will not see them, making the championship look less. You will not see them showing that they don't care or don't want to be there. And I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of youngsters that would love to cover Formula E and have the chance to do that role.
Yeah, and definitely, and I'll be honest, I absolutely love the idea of like collaborating with universities and stuff like that to just bring some like new kind of like the new generation into Formula E and show them what it's all about and everything like that. Right. Thank you very much for coming on. Actually, Kyle, is there anything you wanted to add before we?
No, it's interesting to hear it from another side, really, because obviously we've got. I think the British stream's not so bad because I think we've got a good commentary team, and it's interesting to hear it from another side. So I guess that's just going to go when the sport starts to grow in Spain, which it will. So I think it is some valid points, and I think it's more the networks that would need to change that, not Formula E. But it's a good question.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, Kimosabi, thank you so much for coming on.
Hi.
You said that you're calling from Spain, yeah?
Yep. My
Lovely
name is
stuff.
Josue. You can call me
Jose,
Josh
okay.
if you want. Josue,
Right,
Josue,
okay.
but you can call
Josue,
me Josh.
okay.
That's completely fine.
Right. No,
Right.
thank you very much for coming on, and come back again soon.
Thank you for having me. All right. I'm gonna keep watching.
All right, cheers. Thank you very much.
Keep the good job. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Right, so it is 8:30, and we do have a special guest. Do not worry, we do have a special guest on today, and it is, of course, Toby Wirtz from E-Formel DE. He hasn't had to travel too far to get home tonight, thankfully. So, guten Abend, Toby.
Guten Abend, Pico. Good evening, Kyle.
Hello. How you doing?
How are we? How was the weekend? I'm just getting your lower third up. There we go. Right.
Weekend was great as always when I'm at a Formula E race. So I'm home since 5 hours or something like that. Now doing the whole work that has to be done after a race weekend.
Yeah. It was a hot one this weekend as well. I heard that it was hotter this weekend in Berlin than it was when we were there in July last year as well, and so that caused so much havoc in terms of overheating batteries and the tires degrading quicker and everything like that this weekend.
Absolutely, and especially it was dry this time. That was a really big difference, and it was very sunny weather. Sunday especially very warm. I would not call it hot, but But on the other side, I spoke to some people from teams who said they were driving in Rome, for example, 2023, or in Jakarta, and the temperatures are no problem for the batteries, for example.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I want to talk about tyres because, the tyres, and I know that tyres is always a chat that we have when it comes to Berlin, but it seemed like it was even more of a chat this year than before, because they were degrading so much quicker, and to a point where people weren't even bothering in qualifying to do laps to make sure that they had a little bit more tyre life for the race.
Yeah, absolutely, and this was something that I found very surprising, that there were some drivers who did just an outlap on the new tires for Sunday. Short explanation: the rules. Usually, you have two sets of tire for a race day. But if it's a doubleheader, you get another set, so you have three sets. Usually you use two of these sets on the first day, and have a fresh set for the second day, which is usually Sunday. And usually you use a used set from the first day in the free practice session, and then you use the fresh set in qualifying and race. So we had the situation that there were some drivers who put on the fresh set in qualifying, did one lap, and returned to the pits, and then took the used tires from the Saturday race, not the Saturday race, from the Saturday free practice, and did qualifying on that tires. So they had tires in the race that were fresher than the other drivers, especially if the drivers were in the duels. They had to take these tires in the duels too. So that, for example, Mitch Evans and Oliver Rowland, who finished in P1 and P2 in the end, I think the tires of those two drivers had 10 laps less before the start of the race.
Do you
Yeah,
think that's a significant? Is that a significant advantage then? Obviously, looking at how the grid finished.
Yeah, absolutely. But I have to say, I'm not sure if that's it's what the qualifying on Sunday should be about. We had some drivers who were not going for a fast lap, and if you see that it works, then I'm pretty sure the next time on a Sunday qualifying will be on a track that has a very abrasive surface. We will see maybe 10, 12, even 15 drivers do the same. And I'm not happy about it. Because
it's the last year of the Hancocks, though, isn't it? So do you think that this will translate to next year, or do you think that they'll rectify it?
It depends how long the Bridgestone tires, which we will have in the next season, will last. If it's a track, if it's a surface that's very, very hard on the tires, I think we will be able to see this strategic behavior again, but only if it makes a difference in the race. Yeah, if the tire is stable during the whole race, independent from how many laps he already has on the belt, then it should be no issue. But even in especially in those peloton style races where the starting position is absolutely irrelevant, so that's a topic, of course.
and with obviously the tyres, but also the fact that it was obviously it was a peloton race. The track layout kind of lends itself to that peloton style race, and with the tyres you've got that long multi-apex final corner, which would put a lot of pressure on the right hand side of the tyres. So is that something, do you think Formula E need to go back and relook at? Obviously they changed the layout of the circuit only a couple of years ago, but do you think that's something that they need to revisit again for Gen 4?
Probably, but I'm not sure, to be honest. The problem is the track has to be clockwise or anti-clockwise. So this means you got more left-hand corners or more right-hand corners. Independently, what kind of track it is, except Suzuka in Formula One, of course, who has the form of an 8. But usually you have more left-hand corners or more right-hand corners, and if there are fast corners, you always have the same problem on every kind of track. So yes, of course you can do changes to Gen 4. What I can tell you, there was a secret test on Saturday morning with the Gen 4 development cars driven by James Rossiter. The official version is it was to do some system tests of the electronic of the Gen 4 car, but the not official version is they wanted to check if the layout they are actually using does fit to the Gen 4 car, or what they have to change for next season.
Nice. And obviously there is this rumor going round about potentially we might not be going back to Berlin. As a German, how do you feel about that? Because obviously Norris Ring's been rumored, but Berlin has been for me. It's the home race of Formula E, because we've had so many races around there. We had the 6 in 9 days back in COVID that everyone hated, and like it's such an important race that the old track layout is on the front of the Drivers' World Championship trophy. So, how important is racing in Berlin, and how much of a worry is it that might go from the calendar?
Yes, you have to take into consideration that there's a contract between Formula E and Berlin, which runs until 2027. So we will see Berlin in the next year, definitely. If it will be the same track or if they do some changes for Gen 4, we have to wait and see, especially because the track is quite short. They're doing lap times of 56 seconds in the qualifying at the moment. I think Gen 4 is so much quicker. They will be down to 51, 52. And I think that's really, really short. I think they have to extend the track at least a little bit. But yeah, I spoke to Alberto Longo on Friday morning and asked him the same question. He told me that Formula E wants to stay in Berlin as long as possible. And that contract is running until next year. But they have an option about three more years until 2030. It's depending on the city of Berlin to extend this contract. If Berlin is happy to have the Formula E until 2030, Formula E will stay. But on the other side, it would be irresponsible for a racing series if a contract expires in 1 year, not to talk to other cities in a country, in a market that's very important for at least one manufacturer that's in the series. And you have to imagine we get another German brand next year in the Gen 4 with Opel. So there are two brands in the series that's for who is Germany the main market. So I think Germany will stay definitely, and if Berlin wants Formula One to stay, Formula E will stay in Berlin, of course.
Okay, sweet. And were there any little tidbits, any little things that you can tell us about? Any little off the cuff things that you can give us a little bit of gossip about from the weekend?
For example?
Whatever you like. Yeah, take your pick.
The Porsche livery, for example, that was a really, really big thing. I was surprised too. I was in the Porsche garage when it was shown for the first time, and what can I say? I put it on X, what was called Twitter in earlier times, and my tweet got more than 60,000 impressions.
Hell yeah!
About 100 times as many as usual. So 1,800 likes, something like that. People really liked it, and it was very special. Let's say it that way. Especially they had the Porsche 911 GTE car from 2018 there. That won in Le Mans with the same livery, and it was the fans loved it absolutely. And unfortunately, we will not see the livery again in Monaco in 2 weeks' time. But I think that was a very, very special thing that the fans really liked. And I'm sorry, but I spoke to so many people, and no one said he didn't like it.
Lovely. Right, Toby, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, I will probably see you in London now. Jack will be there in Monaco. But yeah, all right, thanks for coming on, Toby.
Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Right. Cheers, Toby. Right. Bye.
Cheers.
See ya.
Right. Right. I'm going to take a break because it's going too well, and I feel like we do need to have a few minutes just to decompress. And before we go again, just a reminder about the rules of the FE bar, because we don't bring it up enough, is that you're not allowed to drink until Seg 2, which is after the break. So after the break, you're allowed to start drinking. So there's an incentive for you guys to come back in a few minutes' time. We'll see you then. Welcome back. There we go. I've ditched the jacket. I look more like a waiter now. Unfortunately, to John, thanks for popping by. But yeah, no. But by the end of the night, I'll have the tie around my head. I've got booze. Don't worry. I can start to calm down now. Yeah. Right. So let's get. Oh no, I'm watching it on a delay. Right, sorry. Oh, what's happened there? No, it's delayed. Right, let's get Natalie in because we like hearing from Nat. Hello, Nat. How are you?
Oh yeah. Good, you?
No, something's come up. Go away. Go away.
Oh no.
Wait, what's that doing? It looks like it's still working on the stream. I just can't see Carl anymore.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
Right, it's
no.
gone. Right, sorry. Oh, it was always going to end like this, weren't it?
You're doing great. You're doing
Yeah.
great.
Hi, Nat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Been better. No. What would you like to talk about?
A lot of things.
Fire away.
Nick de Vries being Nick de Vries and being a silly goose.
Which
Good
one?
way of putting it.
Which part?
Causing Nick Cassidy to retire from the race and me to say a few choice words at the TV.
Which one? Was that race 2?
Yes, it was.
No. Cass stayed in the race for a few extra laps. It was De Vries that retired. Cass
Yeah, and then he retired.
Cass went in. Cass had to change his win because of the Bohemi crash.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
no. But yeah, that De Vries one, it was kind of just 4 into 1, just didn't go. Personally, for me, I'd say that's a racing incident. I think that I think that with that one, you just had 4 cars. I said on the watch-alongs that the peloton race was basically 20 drivers playing silly buggers for 30 laps and then actually racing for the last 7. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and I've found out I can say buggers on stream, so that's fine. Okay, no one come at me for that, right? But yeah, Nick, yeah, it's just not gone his way. Yes, he was on the front row in Madrid, but he hasn't converted at all yet.
Apart from that race where he came from the back to win in Mexico, I think that's the only good result he's had all year.
Yeah. Well, Cass got a podium.
But...
Cass got a podium on Saturday, so that was good.
Yeah, tale of two halves, as is always the case.
But yeah,
hey-ho.
do you feel that it's just partly him getting his feet underneath the table because obviously he's just a new team, new manufacturer, and everything like that for this season? Is that something that like he just once everything's under the table, he's good to go?
Even when he was at Jaguar last year, the results just didn't seem to go his way for some reason. So I think it's just like you said, he's with Citroën now, which is a new manufacturer, and I think he's just trying to find his way a little bit. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think he's doing significantly better than Jev though, and that's kind of the comparison I look at, is that we don't talk about John-Eric Verne a lot, but we talk about Cassidy
Cass a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and certainly
which
Jev
does surprise me because Jev has been in the championship longer, but like, what's going on there?
The thing is, if you look at Jev, kind of, you could kind of like put like a similar thing with him and Lucas Di Grassi in terms of actually in Gen 3 it hasn't really worked out. Yes, he had that win in Hyderabad, but apart from that, he's had a handful of podiums. I know that he was one of the ones to get on the podium in last year's Sunday Berlin race from the back of the grid. But the results for Jev have certainly been kind of few and far between. Whereas, and certainly this year, admittedly, both Citroens getting through to the duels was good. Annoyingly, they had to go up against each other, but yeah, it was still But when you look at the Citroens, Jev compared to Cass is certainly like way in front of the others.
He's outshining him, which is surprising me a lot, and I'm a Nick Cassidy fan, as you all know. But there we go.
Being a Cassidy fan.
Yeah.
I think obviously Cassidy had a weird one because he stepped down from obviously Jaguar, which looking at their pace at the end of the season and looking at their pace now, I think he's done significantly well with that Citroen car. So, and the championship's a bit weird. If you look at the table, it's broken up, and Citroen are kind of in that battle with Andretti and the rest.
I was sceptical at first, but seeing where Jaguar are now compared to where Nick is in the Citroen, I think it was the right move.
Yeah, definitely.
Because him and Mitch, towards the end of the last season, you could just see that the tensions were starting to arise between them both.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That message where it's like, can you help me out here? And it was just kind of radio silence, and they were snapping. But then also, Mitch and DaCosta don't seem. I wouldn't say it's as bad as that, but there seems to be a bit of like a who's number one at the
Who's
moment.
number one at Jaguar at the moment, exactly. And also Mitch leaving Jaguar at the end of the season after 11 seasons, it does make you wonder, was he pushed or did he actually want to leave?
Yeah.
I've not even thought about that. That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, because we haven't talked about it much yet. Mitch is obviously on his way out. How did it come as much of a surprise to you? I don't think it came as much as a surprise to many people, but
It did, but it also didn't, because I could sense in a way that I think he had enough after London last year, if I'm being honest. But we'll see next year wherever he ends up. If it was the right move or not.
Where do you think that would be? Obviously, there are a couple places rumoured, but where do you think?
I think Opal.
Opal, yeah. I know that Nicky was trying to kind of push.
Get it out of Mark Webber.
Yeah, get out of Mark Webber. Does it begin with a P? Does it begin with an O? He's off to P&O cruises. He's doing a set with Jane McDonald on a cruise around the Norwegian fjords. No. Yeah.
Wherever he ends up, I wish him well.
Yeah, and then obviously there's a lot of like moves round now because Degrassi's also out. So
yeah, Victor Martins is linked to a Formula E seat somewhere as well, which I will be very happy to have him in the series because I loved him in F2. Then obviously Lucas is retiring, so it leaves a seat there. So silly season is silly seasoning as usual.
Yeah, but it feels like I feel like it's on hyperdrive this year, like compared to what we've had in recent years. I know that there have been some years where like one thing has happened and that's changed some stuff around. So there was the 1 year where we thought everything was going to stay the same. Then Bird left Jaguar to go to McLaren, and then that created a whole sort of set of changes up and down the grid. But yeah. What else?
Even bringing into fact the second Porsche team that's
exactly. Yeah, we should be up to 24 cars next season with Opel coming in, and then the second Porsche team, which is wonderful because that's how it should be. That's how it was back in season 7 and from like season 5 to 7. And so having 24 cars on the grid next season is going to be very exciting.
And then quickly going back to what Toby said about Berlin. Whilst I agree some changes are due with a quicker car, I will also be sad to see Berlin leave the calendar if it does at the end of next season, because I do like Berlin as a track. I've got some good memories tied in with that track as well, because if you remember, you might not, I was part of the virtual watch along for the 6 races in 9 days during COVID. So,
okay. Oh, were you on one of those fake screens that they put like around the circuit?
Yeah.
Ah,
I was
lovely.
one of the Envision superfans.
Right.
So
Nice.
whilst I'll be sad to see it go, like London, I understand change needs to happen before drivers get seriously hurt.
Yeah, but London, it's because there's not enough space. It's not the same with Berlin. Berlin, they literally have a blank canvas and
they can do whatever they want
ages
with
to play with it, basically. But it's that
as well. It's
course rough.
Berlin is that ethos for Formula E, isn't it? Because it's
absolutely.
It's not even taking up like anything. It's not even like taking any land up. It's reusing.
They're not having to shut roads or anything like that.
No, exactly.
Good for the planet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And one more thing Sorry.
Go on,
We all
go
just
on.
agree how beautiful the Gen 4 looks, right?
Oh my word! Wait until you see it in person.
No.
Wait until you see it. It looks so good. It's so good.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Annoyingly, we didn't get to see too much of it last week because we were only there for the launch day. They had a test the day after, but all of us had gone home by then. Well, I know that I think Toby was out there, Nick Golding was out there, but me and Jack had we were only out for the one day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've just penciled in whatever week Valencia testing is. Whatever happens, I'm there. I do not care. But yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, no. So yeah, the Gen 4
I would
is
come
going
and
to be
join
good.
you, but excuse me. I would come and join you, but I've only got 1 day annual leave left.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't ask me where it's all gone.
Wait. It. The month is May. How? How?
I know. It doesn't seem like 3 months since I started back at my job.
And it's the start of May.
I
So
know.
you've got 2/3 of the year left to go.
I know.
That's like spending all your holiday money on the first day.
Yeah. I will say.
I've spread it all out though, so it's not just all in 1 month.
Yeah, I will say last year though, because my work changed different things, and so it meant that instead of holiday just being added normally, I had to take holiday, and I took. I didn't understand that I could have just gone 1 day on, 1 day paid, 1 day not, and everything like that. So it would like spread it out, and I took far too much pay in 1 month, which I then had to go to HR and went, can you actually just change that back round again? So yeah.
Same with me then. I've had to email my managers so many times.
You're not the only one to have a faux pas with holiday. Yeah.
The good news is though, I've spread it out across the year.
Yeah.
So it's not all in just one block like it was last year.
Yeah.
Some managers will love it that you've got it all planned out. They have to chase you for it at the end of the year. They're always chasing me. When do you want your time off? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then when we get quieter in this autumn, I've got 9.5 hours left to take as and when. So
lovely. Right, Natalie, thank you so much for coming on. And bearing with whilst I have a mental crisis like every 5 seconds on this. But yes, yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thank you. You can come back whenever you are basically a regular at this point. So thank you for coming back on as always.
Yeah, like I've said on Discord, it just depends on my schedule and if I've seen the race or not. If I've seen the race and I'm free, you can have me all you like.
Right.
Sounds like an offer.
Yeah. Right. Cheers, Nat. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
It's always fun when when the actual teacher's away. It's like a substitute teacher. Like I'm supposed to come in just wheeling the screen and put on a video, and I'm actually I'm actually having to do this seriously. Right, let's get BDS on because he was one of the people I'd scheduled in between 8 and 9.
Hi,
it's just after 9. So sorry, BDS. But hey, what would you like to talk about?
First of all, how are the Swiss lessons going?
Swedish lessons.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Göteborg.
Yeah.
No, I'm on like 50 days of Duolingo, so yeah, we'll see. But yes. So, for those who are unaware, someone came on. I think it was after Miami, and we were praising Ericsson's great result, where he finished 4th. And Jack said to me, "Are you going to interview him in Swedish?" Now, I do know some Swedish, but my Swedish is not all that. But he asked me directly on stream if I was going to interview him. So I said, if he gets a podium. So if he gets a podium between now and London, I have to interview him in Swedish. So I love you, Yoel, but if you can have a few fourths, that'd be great. But just no higher. But yeah, no. So yeah, 50 days on Duolingo is how I'm doing for Swedish at the moment.
I mean, it is currently looking as if we are going to go green at some point because
Yeah.
of the form that we saw last time out in Berlin, especially the second race. But I was thinking of two things, and it led me to thinking about Vegas. And the first thing I was thinking about was with the Formula Legends coming in,
Yes.
could the E race return from the early Gen 1 days of having just a little side thing, fans racing against drivers in Real Racing 3 sims? But then I was also thinking Formula E had a demo run in Vegas, and it'd
They
also
did.
be nice to see the Gen 4 in Las Vegas alongside Formula 1, because that's something that I don't think they've ever done.
Yeah,
It'd be nice to see them on the same weekend.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see it because obviously Formula E doesn't have a support series and could easily run alongside Formula One, and they've got different. Even though they're both under the Liberty ladder, they've got little different things that they can. They're under like different branches of the Liberty ladder, but I know it's something that obviously we hear quite a lot about Formula One and MotoGP. They want to have a race on the same weekend with those two, but I think it's definitely possible. With Vegas though, that straight on the strip is ridiculously long for Formula One. I mean, like, they're topping out about halfway down the straight. So for Formula E, the acceleration that they get out the corner, they're going to be topping out a little bit before that. And in terms of regen zones go, off the top of my head, I think there'll be a few.
Yeah, there won't be
but
enough. There won't be enough though, would there really, for the straights? You'd have to have a couple of chicanes.
Chicanes would probably have to be a necessary evil. But I mean, we've seen that with a few circuits as well.
Isn't Vegas a nightmare for Vegas though? Like you hear, read what the experience it's like for Vegas, and obviously it's chaos for that. Obviously,
it's America. What do you expect?
With Monaco, don't we? So it can be done.
Yeah.
Monaco would be the most likely option in any case because they both race there already.
Oh, do you mean on the same day? Is that what you're saying? You want them on the same day?
Yeah, on the same day at the same track in a similar fashion.
The thing is with Monaco, so they have F3, F2, so
and then it would make
chaos.
Formula E look like a support series when actually I think they're on the same level. They're like here.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think if you were
I don't know if it really would make Formula E look like a support series because earlier this year, IndyCar and the NASCAR trucks ran a race at St. Petersburg on the same weekend. And as far as I could tell, no one was really saying that one was a support to the other.
But what happens if let's say F2's there and they go through the barrier and it takes ages to repair? Are they just going to go, sorry, Formula E, got to prioritise F1?
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, like we saw it this weekend in Miami when there was the threat of rain that I think they did eventually get the F2. They got the F2 race in, but the other races, I think they had like the McLaren Trophy America or something like that, which was scrapped because it was still heavily raining and throughout the morning, and so they scrapped that to make sure that they had F2 ready to go before F1, and then but yeah, we've seen it. I mean, obviously it's not as bad as the first year where we went to Vegas and when Formula One went to Vegas, and it was they had spent 3 hours repairing that manhole cover or whatever it was, and everything just got pushed back so much that I get your point, but I think the current layout of Vegas,
best track and
I think
to do it.
I think definitely because Jack always goes on about like the sexy cities and everything like that. So I think Vegas fits that bill absolutely. But I think as a Formula E venue, Yeah, I'm not
if
sure if it
I
would
prefer
work.
Kota in America.
brilliant.
If we had to go to another circuit, I'd
Well,
take Kota.
that's what's being rumoured. Kota is being rumoured,
Laguna.
and I don't like the idea of us going to Kota. I'd much rather us do, if we would have two races in
They're only
America.
doing it
Miami
for
is
turn 1
one.
and the S's, surely.
Yeah,
That's
so
the only reason they
Yes.
do Kota.
If you ran Kota backwards, it'd generate some battery down that hill, wouldn't it?
yeah, definitely.
Is it safe?
But yeah, for me, if there was to be two races in Vegas, Miami, Long Beach, but just like Gen 1, Season 1. But
go back to New York and the aquaplanes.
but I think they've done some renovations over that part of so we can't go back there annoyingly.
Drainage
But,
Wait, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
that's one that I hear about as well. So I think I think that would be decent. And
But
I think someone mentioned that to Jeff.
A bit of
Yeah.
I think someone mentioned Gilles Villeneuve to Jeff. I can't remember who that was.
When I was like a lot
But
younger, I heard in Season 3 that they were going to Montreal. That was my first guess. I didn't see the race itself until a while after it happened. And I was shocked to see that they weren't at Gilles Villeneuve. They were actually on the Montreal streets.
Yeah.
They should do Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Although the back straight into the wall of champions could be a problem.
But a snooker player. I've definitely heard Gilles Villeneuve being mentioned, so I think that's definitely an option. I think they are looking at all these different places for Gen 4 because there are quite a lot of layouts that
and are we
can't
street
continue
circuits
to.
in that case then? Because if we're just going to full circuits.
Yeah, that's the thing. That I still think that we need to keep the ethos of Formula E races in cities, but that's why I like Miami. That's why I like Sao Paulo. That's why I like Mexico City because, like, they have circuits, and Montreal would work. Gilles Villeneuve. Buenos Aires has got the circuit that they're redoing for MotoGP in a couple of years' time. I've forgotten what it's called, but that's there. So yeah, like that's what I think Formula E should kind of go to if they want to keep city focus.
Yeah, because I think the whole
street
point
racing
of
doesn't
Formula E-
really have the best rap for some reason. But at the same
I
time,
just love
it
the
is their
fact that
identity, in my opinion.
Yeah, the sport's built on that. We're good for the planet because the infrastructure exists. It's like Berlin's got a really good train network, and obviously you can cycle to Tempelhof. It's like
I did
accessible,
e-scooters.
That's what I like.
I did e-scooters the year that I did it. I stayed like fairly close because I usually stay like quite close, and I don't really, and so I just went out, got on an e-scooter, just cycled around Tempelhof, and then in. Not cycled. E-scootered in. But yeah,
I do miss.
All
the
of this, and I'm
landmarks,
still yet
though.
to see a Formula E race live in person.
yeah,
You're not the only one.
That is a bucket list item for me.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But I'm looking forward to the thing is with London, and obviously it's the season finale this. It's the last time that we're going to London this year. As much as I love that venue and it's really cool, but as a fan, what you're paying and what you're getting, I think that would be a turn off for me. So I'd say hold out until we get to the replacement venue next season, which is probably Brands, but
It should be Brands Hatch.
I think Formula E at Brands Hatch would be a masterpiece. But yeah.
Went back and watched the Champ Car race there from 2003, which was called the London Champ Car Trophy for some reason. It's in Kent, but it was a good race.
Yeah.
So it has history of being referred to as a London race. So it's a great destination. And I know
I think there's
I know people have gone there and have had a lot of fun. So,
And I think there's a good place for attack mode on the top of the hill.
Attack mode going
What?
through turn 1 would be insane.
No. Do you mean turn 2? After Paddock Hill Bend? So you go down then back up.
Going down the hill.
Down the hill, you go up, and then they've got that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think that's where the
how I
long.
put-
I think that's where the long lap loop is for BSB. And yeah, no, I think that's a really decent point to put it. But yeah. BDS, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Right, hopefully we see you again soon.
Yep.
All right,
Bye,
cheers.
guys.
All right, ta-ra. Right, I'm gonna get Ed in because he's been waiting for a while now. Ed, hello. Ed, is that not
hello.
here? Hello.
No, sorry,
How are you?
I didn't expect to be pulled in, so I was listening to you on the stream, and then.
Oh yeah, no.
You
That's
interrupted
absolutely.
Gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No, there's no schedule. We used to have remember the old days when we first started this? Jack used to have a list.
Yeah.
And then he would completely ignore his own list, depending on.
Oh,
because obviously
yeah.
some people wouldn't show up or whatever on the night.
Yeah,
and then
yeah, no.
it'd end
And
up being a complete mess.
and
yeah.
tonight, and I know that you're only going to see this in about 30 seconds time, but I have a list, and so of the people that had signed up beforehand, and so yeah, I've got a rough idea of when people want to come on and everything like that. But yeah, no, I thought that you'd been sitting in there for a while, so I thought come and have a chat. How are you?
Pretty good. I mean, I've been doing a real life go-kart commentary at Kart Silverstone, as you might have heard. And a couple of weeks ago, there was like a floodlight failure, like during qualifying sessions. So all of a sudden,
no, that sounds about right.
lights went out, and then the red flags went out. Yeah, so obviously a bit of teething troubles there. So don't recommend Formula goes to Kart Silverstone, not only because it's not really built for that sort of size of Gen 4 car.
Yeah.
Even though it uses a lot of the old bit of the bridge and Priory from the old Grand Prix layout from the 90s and
definitely.
2000s. But yeah, also there's no starting gantry. They just started with the old green flag, and Marshall rose the green flag, and they do get going. So you can jump the start as early as you want, I guess, at Kart Silverstone in those rental carts. But yeah, on the way back, I went to a place called Bicester Village, because obviously I was trying to back
Oh,
up,
yeah.
'cause they were running about 20-50 minutes from
Yeah,
me.
10 minutes down
and-
the road from me.
Yeah, and it was like 11:40, so it wasn't lit very well. I wasn't sure how to go. There's like a tiny gap in the fence to get from the car park to the platform. I wandered around the car park for a bit, and eventually sort of tripped over in a really badly lit part where I couldn't see my footing when I was going down the little
Brilliant.
ramp to try and get back down. So injured my knee. Luckily, I did get I basically missed the train I got on the wrong train as a result because
Well done.
but I did get my money back, so that was all good.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Anyway,
You
actual
had a bad
commentary.
day.
Yeah, that was a particularly bad journey.
Yeah. No.
And ended up bleeding out in the middle of the high street and getting a coach home. But waiting around 90 minutes for the coach to arrive too. It doesn't get better. But anyway, yeah, Formula E. You should probably talk about
Yes,
that. haven't we?
yeah. Talk
That's
about Formula E.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, that was a while ago. So I was actually this weekend. I was at Buckmore Park in Kent, where it rained down torrentially. So I did actually miss watching Saturday live, but I did watch the highlights after. So yeah, Nico Müller finally a Eprix winner, which
Yeah.
has been a long time in the making. Especially you think about those years he spent doing sort of underdog heroics in the Dragon and in the. Later in the Actor Cupra, powered by Mahindra, of course, when Mahindra was not the powertrain of choice. That's changed a little bit in recent history. Mortara doing a lot better in the last couple of races, of course, earlier this season. But yeah, you gotta say Nico Müller fully deserved. And a weird pink Porsche, which I say weird, it's a sort of historic livery, isn't it, on their home ground?
Yeah.
As well. So
To be
yeah,
fair, I look at that
definitely
and go
unusual.
weird as well. I go weird as well.
Well, I mean, it's Formula E. We're no stranger to seeing
Yeah.
odd liveries. I mean, it's almost like giving the Racing Bulls Formula 1 team a run for their money sometimes. Some of the liveries we see in Formula E.
Yeah.
Where like, they're changing it every race, or just add a bit of pink, add a bit of yellow, depending on what the designer
But
feels
then-
like, I guess.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the
it's
other week I
special
showed
though,
you a
isn't it?
Gen
'Cause
1
if it
car
is
with an
different.
ERT. But yeah.
That was it, yeah. That's the one at the Silverstone Museum as
Yeah.
well, where they thought ERT was going to be the brand for a bit longer, and then Forest Road came in and Kiro
Yeah.
It seemed to be changing livery every race as well. Just another odd one to keep up with. They got the sort of, I guess because there were so many yellow cars, they're going for the more newspaper-like, looks like something you get in like a chip shop.
Just to distinguish themselves from the Andretti, who have changed that fluoro yellow.
Well, was that the AI designed livery or something?
Yes,
I know McLaren did. Like,
it's the same one that Will
did an AI
Powers.
designed livery.
The same one that Will Powers running in IndyCar at the moment.
So the AI designed livery is basically the same that Andretti started the season with, except they've just sploshed the red bits with fluorescent yellow. So, well, maybe that's branding.
Though, actually,
it has, yeah.
I prefer. I think the zingy colour was a lot better than the.
They've not won since
really
changed livery. Is all I'll say. So it's not worked out since Mexico, where Dennis won. So.
Well, that's true.
But I guess
that is
it depends
actually
if you're superstitious
fair.
or not. It doesn't tend to help with Formula E.
Didn't Dennis come like fourth in Mexico City? So they had a decent first two races, changed the livery, and it's just it's been so since.
No, didn't he win Mexico and then it was the race after?
No. He won in Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo, there we go. Yeah,
I think he was still top four. I think he was still top four in Mexico City, and then since Miami onwards, it's kind of not gone great. So maybe there is a correlation between that.
Yeah, he just missed out to Roland, didn't he? When they were
Mortara. Yeah, it was very close at the end. What have you made of the what do you make of the Sunday race? Because obviously that was
the more Peloton one.
Yeah. We're used to these kind of pack races now because we're now in the final season of Gen 3 and we've had them since about halfway through season 9. But I mean, like, for me, I think that Sunday race was a bit too Peloton-y, and like we saw the accident with Casti when he went into the back of Buemi because Buemi lifted off about a third of the way down that straight between 4 and 6.
Yeah, well, for me, the thing that stood out to me as, this is a Peloton race, isn't it? Is that Oliver Rowland, I think, completely had some sort of issue at the start and bogged down, fell right to the back. And then within a couple of laps, he was right in the middle of the pack and then fighting for the podium, essentially.
Yeah. He was fighting for the podium on like 13 or something like that.
It's interesting because I was reading an article, I think earlier today, a quote from, I think it was Pascal Wehrlein. He basically said how bored he was. He said it's really boring and didn't say what the context was. And I read on, and what he was complaining about was how he was really bored of how qualifying doesn't matter anymore. That basically in these sort of Peloton style races, essentially qualifying, other than the 3 points for pole, at the end of the duels, is kind of arbitrary and meaningless because wherever you start, we sort of Roland, I think, is a very, very good example of that. And you mentioned sort of Casti being knocked out of the way a little bit as well in that Sunday race in the 4 wide sort of melee. But yeah, it's which is one of the issues of pack racing as well. It gets quite crowded, particularly into hairpins like that one at Berlin. We sort of have it's not quite a hairpin; it's more of a double apex 90 degree.
Yeah, they have a couple like a couple of them like switch back on each other as well, and so yeah. And then obviously because you're very much an old head like I am. We were there in year 1 and everything like that. And so yeah, Berlin. But yeah, Berlin has been on the calendar since like the first year, and I know that we're
since that year that Jarno got Trulli got
Jarno Trulli got a pole and then did nothing. But yeah,
because they didn't know how to set up the Gen 1, the original Formula E car.
Did nothing throughout the year, got pole, then did nothing after that as well.
I think he was derating horribly at every race, so I think Jarno did pretty well to score the points that he did score. He got like a 4-foot punter in that first year. Mainly because everyone out in front of him crashed.
Yeah. But yeah, so for Berlin's been on the calendar for so long, so obviously there are rumours, and we've spoken to Toby about it earlier, about there is a contract for next year, so we should still be there next year. But there is this ever persistent rumour of it disappearing from the calendar. How would you feel about that? Because it feels like it's been the Formula E race for years.
Yeah, I suppose with the exception of was it 2016? Wasn't it in season 2 where they got the one and Karl Marxelli in the middle of Berlin down this sort of main iconic street essentially, and then they ended up having to cancel that because I think the local Green Party councillors voted against it essentially, and it was like, well, back to Berlin. And so it's always good to have that sort of safety network in the middle of admittedly quite a historic venue because you think like the Berlin airlift happened there in the sort of during the Cold War, of course, and it's got a lot of historical significance, but it's not obviously not used as an actual airport, so it's kind of ideal for Formula E because it's a big, wide, open bit of tarmac. As Toby said, admittedly quite abrasive surface, so it presents its own unique challenges. It'd be difficult to see them sort of resurfacing it because again, there's that historic element, and also there's a sense of Formula E. XL's a unique case because it's in the middle of an exhibition hall, so they kind of have to lay something down so the cars get at least a little bit of grip. But you don't want to alter the actual track surface in the venues more than is absolutely sort of necessary, because it's almost like at that point we may as well build a track essentially for Formula E, a custom one, and then it sort of becomes like, I know, building your own sort of custom bigger scale sort of karting track in the middle of a city centre essentially, with obviously all the facilities that you need for sort of a world championship is grade 3 essentially. So I think what most of the Formula E FIA grades tracks are, I think, because it used to be a slightly lower grade, and I think they boosted it when they became a FIA World Championship in season 7, if I remember correctly. But Berlin. To answer your actual question, because I do have this habit of just rambling on in a different direction.
Do not worry. It is the ADHD. I do it as well.
No,
I do it all the time.
It might be the autism rather than the ADHD.
Oh yeah. I think it's a hefty mix of both.
Yeah, it's not. They're not mutually exclusive. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, and again, we're talking about something that's not Formula E. But enough of our personal lives. Berlin. It's been good to have that sort of continuity, because obviously Germany, a key market for Formula E. We've had so many big German manufacturers. Porsche been there since season 5. Audi used to be there for a long time. BMW as well. Even when the old days when they used to just provide the safety and medical cars. And we've had a number in and out, and we've got Opel coming in next year. That's a big, maybe a bit of a Stellantis branding exercise with the former Maserati, currently Citroen sort of team, but still, that's good to have a brand name like Opel. Well, I guess maybe in London they might run Vauxhall branding. You never know.
Who knows?
That would be funny.
Maybe we'll see a electric Vauxhall Astra support race. I don't know. But, well, actually, no.
I am still pining. I'm still pining to have a Citroen Ami support series. I think that would be so fun. Like back in the early days, because Renault was so much part of Formula E. I was pining for a Renault Twizy Cup.
Ooh.
Because I think that would be funny. Because if you have a disagreement with one of the other drivers, you can just go down one of the straights and just punch him. Because
I think we might end up with a lot of Twizzies rolled over, is my idea in that.
Go full on. Who was it? Romano Fenati in Moto2 when he pulled that guy's handbrake going down the straight at Misano. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of that go-karting race. I think Jake Sanson was commentating at the time, where I forget the name of the driver, but he threw like the loose bumper at one of the carts coming his way. So yeah, there's a bit of a history of motorsport of red mist influencing driver decision. We've even seen that in Formula E. We had a few crosswords about Nick de Vries over the years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where Nick is
about Buemi, but was it Buemi and Edo Mortara when they were walking down the pit road after quali, and he's like this?
Well, I mean, that's sort of typical Buemi.
Yeah. Well, there was Buemi.
Any random race, and you might get a frame of Buemi gesticulating wildly, saying something colourful in French.
Well, the one that comes to mind is Buemi in Montreal. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. The rant where he goes after the wrong Andretti driver. He's going after Robin, and Robin is really kind of. That was a classic thing I always used to love about Robin Franz. It's a shame his Formula E career is effectively over at the moment. I don't think they call him on sabbatical.
I don't think he's coming back. No.
Nah, that's a shame. But he was just the most real. Even in a stressful situation, Robin would come across as just incredibly relaxed and sort of like very, very kind of level-headed. And so Buemi's coming over and says like, "Well, I don't remember touching you." And Buemi's like, "Of course you did." And then it's like, "No, it's DaCosta's the one you want." And then when he's done with Antonio, he has to go at Daniel Abt as well, because he was upset that Abt tried to jump him in the pit lane during the car swap, of course.
Yeah.
Which again shows you how long ago all this happened.
Yeah. Oh, those were the days.
But yeah, anyway, I really hope that we still see Berlin on the calendar in some shape or form, because there's clearly, you saw that the grandstands were relatively well attended. There were lots of flags, especially for Porsche, on both days as well. So I think there's a great value to keeping it on the calendar, and it's not got quite the same issues as London, where XL, where basically there's not really a whole lot of space, and they're trying to build stuff for the conference venue next door, which sort of restricts where they can put the circuit. Whereas at least with Tempelhof, we've seen, I think, if you don't count the 6 races in Berlin, where they experimented with, I think, 2 other layouts as well. We've seen, and they went backwards as well. So we've seen at least 6 or 7 different layouts, I think, over, sound like a school child now, make a silly meme. My mistake there, but we've seen at least a certain number of different track layouts used over the years, and we could see even more. So there's a fair bit of flexibility there, and I've always enjoyed it. But yeah, what's next on the calendar?
Monaco, 2 weeks
Monaco,
time.
of course, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely be one to look forward to, because that's our other sort of. Berlin is the Formula E homegrown classic venue. Monaco's got that sort of its own tradition dating back to the 1920s. Louis Chiron, the first ever winner. Was it Chiron? I
don't know. I think it was in.
It might have been the British guy. It was the.
I think the first one was 29. So I might be wrong. But yeah, Ed, thank you so much for coming on. We will chat soon.
Indeed, we will. I think it was William Grover Williams. There we go.
There we go.
Monaco Grand Prix in 1929. So there we go. That is your factoid.
Historic.
Yeah, literally historic. But there we go.
Right.
Nearly 100 years ago.
Right. Cheers, Ed. Thank you. See you
care.
later.
See you soon.
Right. I think let's go for another quick 2-minute break, and then we're going to come back, because we're just going to space it out, make it nice and easy, and we're going to try and get off at 10 o'clock tonight, so who knows? Like, it'd be better than what Jack's ever done. Right, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
See you in a minute.
music stops, we are back. There we go. Right, we in last half hour. Come on, we can do this. Let's get Mazrua in. Because Mazrua's been waiting a long time to get in, so
Yes.
we'll get you in. Hi, Mazrua, how are you?
Oh, hello. Thank you. I've been waiting for 1 hour and 38 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, sorry.
No, it's it's I skipped dinner for this, but basically, what I want, I think most of the conversation has been done.
Yeah,
I'm happy that Muller and Mitch Evans won. The Berlin had 2 races, but what I want to basically point out is, if you go to the how the FE bar works Discord channel, I have an update of my bingo card.
yeah.
I
2 seconds. There we go. That's the thing. Unlike Jack, I've decided to get a second screen where I can continue to do all this. And look, I am just built better equipped than an actual streamer. On my first go, I've got all this stuff. So yes, no, please go through them.
Okay, so I mean, you can basically see it on screen, but on my race predictions chapter for race 1, was it? No, it's. Let me look in. I'm opening my booklet, the stat tracker booklet. Berlin race 1. I predicted a Dan Ticktum pole position, and my podium prediction were Nico Müller, Eduardo Mortara, and Jean-Eric Vergne, first, second, third, and the winning team will be Porsche.
Well, you got Nico.
I predicted Nico on Berlin's first race. The race.
That's
one
not bad.
And finally, I think after 4 predictions, I started predicting from round 4, and I finally nailed it. Because I've been predicting, I predicted Muller previously in Jeddah race 2 to win, and he obviously he was not there. But I'm so happy that one of my predictions finally came correct. The race prediction, that is. And if you go and look at my bingo card, which I showed you all the way back from I've written in February, I look at row 3, column 4. Row 3, column 4.
Porsche defend teams and manufacturers' titles. Yes.
Below, the tile below.
Oh, Muller wins a race. Yes, there we go.
Oh, there we go. We got one.
Yeah.
Some of my predictions.
So with that, sorry to jump in.
Go ahead.
Obviously there was and we spoke about it a little bit earlier on. There was a lot of, do you think was Muller moving over to the Porsche team? Obviously, Da Costa jumped ship. Was that justified? When that was announced,
Yes.
how did you think that he had earned that seat, or did you think that he was just shoved in there because Da Costa had just gone?
To be honest, Nico has been a Porsche factory driver for a very long time. I would say from their GT3 projects and everything. If I were in Porsche's position to fill in Da Costa's gap, I would have definitely picked Nico Müller. I was actually wanting Nico Müller to get that seat because he was the best possible candidate to, I think, offset the whole rivalry or the whole relationship tension that Da Costa had with Wehrlein. If I'm being honest, it was not like a unanimous decision. I would say it was a justified decision. Muller has actually proven to have had pace with weaker cars. He had very weak powertrains, and I think when he had the right car, I mean, he won his race in his first race in his 69th attempt, which is now the longest number of race starts to win a Formula E race. And this was the first time he had a front-running powertrain, and he's proven it. I will say he didn't have sufficiently good powertrains in the previous season when he raced. I would say it's fully justified that Porsche made the right decision. Even if Muller would not have won a race this season with the Porsche team, I would have at least wanted to give Muller a shot. He was one of the best candidates, I think, not to have had a proper front-running powertrain, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, obviously, like just above that, and we talked with that. You said that Porsche defended both teams and manufacturers' titles. So obviously, with Muller coming in, you were confident in putting that in when they brought a new driver in. Then
Yes, I was making the call since December, and I was very happy that Muller. I'm not like a diehard Muller fan, but I believe that when a driver has potential, I fully acknowledge the fact that they should be given a chance in like a proper, stable powertrain. And I actually, when Muller was given the seat, I actually predicted twice, once in the Jeddah race and once in the Berlin race, that he will win a race for Porsche. And fittingly, it was the Berlin race at Porsche's 75th anniversary. And I'm very happy that after, and I just needed, this was my 4th race prediction. And in the race 2 prediction, I didn't write Mitch Evans a lot, and I'm glad I didn't, because I think if I wrote Mitch was going to win a race, I think I would have jinxed his podium.
yeah. If you had written Mitch Evans to win, you need to get down the bookies and put put whatever you think on whatever and make a few dosh out of that. But
I'm glad I actually wrote the podium slot for Berlin empty. Like, I didn't write anything because I was so wanting Mitch to win. I knew there was a curse in me that if I wrote Mitch Evans was going to win the race, I would have jinxed it. Fun fact. Let me look at the other chapter. Which race was it? I wrote Taylor.
I also
Barner.
think that just because you didn't write it down, I still think you got the prediction correct.
Yeah. You should still get the creds. You should still get the creds for getting it right. Yeah.
It's just hilarious. It's just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I just don't want to ruin it. Like, if I wrote it in my book,
I think
I
think if you put it in the book, it's fine. If you then go to the bookies with it, that's when it will go wrong.
I don't gamble. Okay?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
gamble.
I was little story time. So 2020,
Oh, God.
when so at the start of the 2020 season in Formula One, Racing Point looked really, really competitive. And I said at the start of the year, Lance Stroll's going to get a podium in Monza because Lance was always really good at Monza, and they had a decent car. And then when it came round to it, because the entire season that year had been Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen in some shape or form, I didn't put the bet on. And then we had the wackiest race of all time, where Gasly won the race, Sainz was second, and who was on the podium? Lance Stroll. And so I was really annoyed that I didn't put the money on that day. But yeah. Oh well.
No. To be honest, I'm not that person where I'm gonna hope that I can make some money out of this from the bookies. I just want to be statistically correct and have a more analytical foresight than putting the money on the bookies, because there's always some high stakes. To me, I feel like watching the race is enough of a financial high stake for me. The emotional stake is the financial stake for me. I don't need any physical money for the bookies, but I can see why some of the punters would do it. I'm glad. I think that if punters were in Formula E, they would be homeless, if I may say. Like, if I'm being realistic, because you just never put on the bookies, put it with the punts and bookies in Formula E, even if it's a narrow street like Monaco, which is the next round coming. But damn, I'm also happy Drogovic got some points, which people kind of overlooked. He finished 2 points on his debut racetrack, and he's now got going. I think that Drogovic is untapped potential, and I hope Andretti keeps him for Gen 4 the coming season. Andretti, I'm not saying I'm like a diehard fan of any of these drivers, but I will say that these drivers deserve a chance. I hope Mortara definitely stays at Mahindra. He's got a reliable car. He needs to trust the process at Mahindra for Gen 4. The De Vries Cassidy incident, it's not De Vries' fault, but social media was very quick to pounce on De Vries, and I
think it was mainly Cass was quick to pounce on De Vries, and then
I was
everyone kind of followed. But I'm in the same boat as you. I think that was a racing incident, in my opinion.
That was a racing incident, and then Cassidy was out. That was a racing incident. But if you have heard on the radio, Cassidy was super furious. He felt like,
Yeah.
De Vries deserved it.
Yeah, but I
He-
don't think Cass knew when he was in the car.
Yeah, he was like, he didn't know, he wouldn't know. It's just, I enjoy the Berlin E Prix. I would love it to stay on the calendar for the the coming season, for the forthcoming season. I'm super excited for the Gen 4. I was reading its technical specifications. I'm trying to find the technical regulation PDF booklet to see what's the inside of the Gen 4. And of course, Formula E makes it hard to make you find the details.
Yeah, I think there'll probably be more kind of like revealed. I think at least after the World Motorsport Council
WSM.
meeting in June.
WMSP,
So
yeah, World
yeah,
Motorsport.
I think after June you might be able to find a little bit more, but I think they're trying to because obviously the official launch was only a couple of weeks ago. They're still
Okay.
like dotting I's, crossing T's, and everything like that just before.
They're like
yeah,
this, they're like hinting that we got this. They're like teasing you every week.
exactly.
But, okay, another question. First of all, I forgot to say, Jack, nice suit for your.
Thank
first
you.
post.
Thank you. I'll be honest, I have taken the jacket off and I now look a little bit like Ronnie O'Sullivan. But apart from that,
Okay.
I'm going for snooker after this.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay, you do look like
But yeah,
you're
no,
you
thank
came
you.
back from snooker and hosting a motorsport.
yeah,
e-bar.
exactly,
Honestly,
exactly.
My mom would have also loved that suit. Like,
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
she judges me on whether I'm professional in any place, and she prefers me wearing the suit. So, I give you credit for that. Okay.
yeah. No, thank you very much.
And another question: what is up at Penske? Do they have a powertrain? Did they are they a manufacturer team or are they a customer team, or are they like, there was rumors that they were gonna have a Porsche Penske powertrain, and I was like, wait, if you're telling me that Porsche is gonna have a powertrain contract with Penske, then it would have been Porsche Penske, and the WEC fans would have gone insane.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
no, yeah,
like,
definitely.
like, thank God that didn't materialize. Then we would have had to deal with 8 Porsche powertrains, and one of them being a Porsche Penske would have definitely, brother, WEC fans would have rioted if they saw that.
Yes,
I don't know if
yeah.
rumors were. There were rumors because Penske, what I read, Mahindra powertrains are off the table because Mahindra themselves have not been able to test. They're not going to be testing until July, if I've heard, because they were so late in announcing as a manufacturer for Gen 4. So I was thinking of telling people that Penske is going to be the 7th manufacturer. If you consider Stellantis as Citroen and Opel, that's 2 powertrains,
Yes,
2 different
yeah.
powertrains. And you
Yeah,
had 7 different powertrains.
yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, one that I wish I knew the answer to, and I think it's one that I think a lot of people wish they knew the answer to. There is a lot of obviously Penske used to do their own powertrains before DS came in a few seasons ago. They even supplied powertrains to Neo over the course of a couple of seasons back in the day.
Yeah,
But
there was
yeah.
yeah.
but I expect them to be a customer at this point because they haven't done any testing or anything like that, and we think Mahindra applied quite late. So this is like handing in your dissertation 2 hours after the deadline, which something I did.
Exactly. Okay, life
We'll,
experience.
we'll park that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, but have you heard the rumors from Penske in Italy? The Penske
Go
Automotive
on.
Italy division. Okay, you haven't heard. I read it on LinkedIn and I read on like some news articles that Penske were doubling down and expanding their technical operations in Italy. If you don't know, Penske has a technical center in Italy. It's called Penske Automotive Italy. You'll find it on LinkedIn and on numerous social media pages as well. So basically they're a tuner firm, tuner mechanical shop or auto shop,
Yeah.
much like App Sportsline in Germany. Penske,
Yeah.
obviously, we all know is based in the US, but they have an Italian branch as an Italian operation, and they doubled down on their technical operations here. So I was thinking, is that something to do with Formula E? Is it something to do with their operation in Gen 4? Like that's
Potentially,
what
I know they're building something over in Whitney here in Oxfordshire, but
in England.
yeah. Here they've got a facility in a little town called Whitney, which is about 30 minutes down the road from where I live.
Okay.
The more places that I say I'm close to, everyone's going to like drill down along the
I was just
location and
thinking
go
that.
like, right, okay, it's in this quadrant, it's in this quadrant here, somewhere around here he is. But no, yeah, it's definitely something that is being talked about quite a lot. Whether Penske are going to have their own powertrain, I'd towards no, at least not for next season, because it's so late in the development now, and that would mean that potentially not for the following season, but they are changing the regulations, so it's not going to be a 2-year cycle. It's going to be this a tokens system that Formula One have got
They
that's
have
coming in
tokens.
for next season.
They
Yeah,
they call
yeah,
it like
yeah,
the
that's coming in
Joker
for next
similar to
season.
X.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually support that because I think that
Yeah, 100%.
new regulations tend to find themselves on a back foot with a new set of gear, and I felt that the hardware needs a sampling data of an entire season before they can, like a couple of races before they can actually judge that they can trust their development, their system, their hardware as a whole.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think that. I also pray and hope the Evo sessions don't return. Please, God, no.
I don't think they
I'm-
are, so I don't think you need to worry about that.
I'm
the
glad. I
damage
hope
was
they
done.
don't. The damage was done massively with like that publicity stunt. It was
Yes.
the worst PR stunts I've seen
Yeah,
from our
no,
company.
definitely.
And earlier when we had Kimosabi on the chat, he was saying that Formula E is actually difficult to watch. I will say it is difficult to watch. Where can I watch Formula E? It's just been that kind of situation for years now. So I think that's something you need to. We're not going to enter that conversation. I'm sure that has been like covered. But the other thing that I wanted to think about is that the support series catalog. What else? Formula E, if it opens up a support series, is it gonna attract enough drivers to come in and race? If
That's
it
another
announces-
thing that needs to be looked at,
Yeah,
definitely.
is it like, are there actually drivers, young drivers, or any middle-aged drivers who are like saying, yes, I want to be a Formula E driver, I want to commit to this project, I'm willing to go through the support series and apart from the rookie tests and everything, go through the support series to hopefully qualify for a seat in Formula E.
That's
Is
fair.
there that level of demand? I think that's
Yeah.
part of the reason where I feel that the demand for a support series has not been fully materialized, because there needs to be a demand before you can actually put a platform in place.
Yeah,
And,
we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
So and their marketing and PR needs to be very good for Gen 4. I hope they improve it, because if I'm being honest, the Gen 2 videography team were much better than the Gen 3 promoters. I think Formula E, in my opinion, comes Gen 4, they need to look at how they're gonna improvise their promotion, because I'm looking at other racing series, World Rally Championship, WRC. They are having a new promoter for 2027. People are fed up with the current promoter, said that the new promoter did not do anything to promote that. It was like WRC was forgotten. WRX, on the other hand, World Rallycross, they had to resort to streaming on YouTube last season for free races, and nobody was like caring, because they butchered the marketing. The promotion material got so bad with the Rally GmbH promoter that they had to resort streaming to YouTube. When a racing series does that, as YouTube as a last resort for streaming, instead of building an audience on one stable platform with proper marketing and more accessible, streaming, the racing series tends to go defunct. And Formula E, in my opinion, I know I was talking to Jack Giordamania about this, and there were talks that Formula E was in threat of not existing or going defunct.
Oh yeah, that was years ago now.
that was definitely years ago with COVID, but I think there's another phase with the marketing. I mean, World Rallycross thought that they were never going to go bankrupt, and look what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
World
No.
Rallycross was started in the same year in 2014, like Formula
Yeah.
EX months earlier. So I'm praying to God that they do not do any unnecessary like promotion, because the
Yeah.
whole celebrity idea thing, it was so much money, it was so much time and resources. My concern was with the teams.
Yeah.
The teams and the drivers, they were worried about their cars, they were worried about the PR, they were worried. Lola had to cut a lot of their, vacation time because they had to rebuild the car that Izzy crashed. So again, that definitely cost millions of
Oh,
dollars.
absolutely. Right.
I know Formula E says that they actually footed the bill, but the labor cost, I mean, the amount of labor time that's required, the time that the Lola team could have spent in, testing and developing on the sim, they were rather bothered about a mistake by one of their, stand-in celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Missouri, we're going to have to leave it there.
Okay. Thank
Right,
you.
okay. Thanks for coming
see
on.
you- Yeah. See you next FE bar.
Right, we'll see you soon. Right, ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Right. Connor.
Hello.
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 Thanks for waiting. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. Am I right in saying you were in Berlin? Or are you still in Berlin?
I was in Berlin, yes. I'm not anymore.
No.
I came home today. 2 Toblerones heavier because I had some money left over.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I had to buy a shed load of fags for my manager when I was in France last week. So yeah, no, my bank account is also quite empty. Sorry, go on. How was your weekend?
It was all right. I think I forgot to bring sun cream, so I was very worried about getting
God.
burnt. I spent most of my weekend in my jumper, being very, very warm, but my arms didn't burn. And then I was lucky enough to get a autograph session ticket, and during that session, Penske were giving out some free bucket hats. So I got a Penske bucket hat that I got, and that protected the back of my neck very nicely. So I survived.
Yeah, good.
Got out of it. But yeah, I think the thing I want to talk about. Oh,
What?
okay. Sorry. So something popped up on my screen. Sorry.
Yeah, something popped up on my screen. I don't know what it was. I saw that as well.
Anyway,
It doesn't matter.
I want to talk about Taylor Barnard, not because I've got a DS Penske hat or anything. It was just I realised, sitting in the stands watching, especially race 2, a little bit of the same in race 1, but especially in race 2. Obviously, we know he has the pace. He's sort of, been battling for pole positions throughout the season and getting quite deep into the duels and whatnot. But I was kind of watching and seeing, in the beginning he was doing all right, and then I kind of looked up and realised, hold on a minute, he's like 15th on like lap 10.
Yeah. Considering when you
And I'm
start on
kind of
the front, then
Yeah, when you start on the front row, I mean, I know obviously, it's a
peloton, yeah.
it's a peloton race, and you can move forwards and backwards, that's fine. But he never really moved back forwards.
Yeah.
It's not like he did it strategically to then go forwards again. He kind of got shuffled back and then stayed there. And it's kind of, I'd kind of hope that you kind of seen it a lot where he has qualified well and dropped back during the race, and you'd hope he'd kind of be slightly better at it now. Especially last year in the McLaren, he was very, very quick in the races as well. So that's a shame.
I think certainly. The thing is, Phil Charles knows what he's doing. He was brilliant at Jaguar. He's brought Penske alive, but when you look at this season, Gunther hasn't been where we expect him to be either. So I don't know what it is at the moment, but there's something there, because the only Stellantis that's actually doing anything at the moment is Cassidy.
Yeah.
They can
That's what he-
qualify.
yeah.
I just don't think they've had the strategy really. If you think back to Jeddah, when they basically were on the front row, and then they couldn't even convert
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was Jeddah was weird because I remember I think it was Gunter took his attack mode in the pit boost race before the pit boost, and
Yeah.
I think that can work, but he spent all of his attack mode instead of being out in front pulling away. He spent all of his attack mode trying to weave through everyone that he lost positions to, and then when
Yeah.
everybody else hit and then took their attack mode, they were able to use the clean air to push, and it kind of So, but yeah, I think for the Berlin itself, I hope it stays. Hopefully, they can have more water filling stations and umbrella.
Yes, this is something that we heard a lot about, the fact that there wasn't much water filling station. There was only 2, I think I heard from in the
So
entire.
there were two on. There were 2 on Saturday, and because I was in stand C, which was like near it was in front of the final corner, the long triple left hand.
Yeah.
And so where I was, if I wanted to go and fill up my water bottle, which, fun fact, I had 2 water bottles, empty plastic water bottles in my bag on the Saturday. And they made me chuck them, and I had to go and I had to buy a €3.
Yeah.
The choices was I had to buy a €3 water bottle, or go and buy a 15-20 euro formally branded one from a merch store.
Yeah,
and
but
if I
would
want-
you have been allowed back in the next day with that same Formula E
Yeah,
branded
I
bottle?
the day after, I think they had heard the complaints and got a bit. They were. I think I heard they were slightly more lenient. I didn't bring any plastic bottles the next day because I just assumed they'd be chucked, so I chucked them before I got there. But I heard people were saying they were a bit more lenient on the Sunday. But yeah, if I wanted to fill up my water bottle, I had to get out the stand and walk for a good couple minutes to get to the first filling station.
Yeah. But then I assume you would have got there and there would be a 15-minute queue or something like that.
Yeah. Then that's the next thing, where it's like I walked all this distance. It's a very hot day, and then I have to stand in a queue for 5, 10, however many minutes. So on Sunday they did bring in another. I guess they overnighted another water station, and they set that up outside.
So was there only one on the Saturday, or did it go from 2 to 3?
It went from 2 to 3.
Okay.
So you had kind of how it was laid out was you had like the entrance side, and then if you went left out the entrance, that was like stand C, and then pretty much everything else was to the right. So you had a bit of a walk, and then you had like the food stands, and then I think there was a water filling station in the middle of the food stands, and there were some more food stands, and then a couple of other stands for sponsorship and whatnot, and then there was another water filling station at the end of that, like next to the fan zone. But yeah, so we had the 2 then, and then on Sunday they bought in another set of water stations and put them outside sort of the entrance near stand C where I was. So that was nice. They also, like I said, they bought in some more tent shade umbrella things. I think that's another thing that they can. I mean, maybe next year it won't be 28 degrees and not a cloud in the sky.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's much of a problem. But yeah, I think it's not, because if you can look at the weather, and if you look at the weather and you see it's going to be 28 degrees, sunny, all that, like you can plan ahead for this. I mean, obviously not too far, because you're not going to know what it's going to be, like a month beforehand. But, a week beforehand, you can probably assume it's going to be what the weather forecast says it's going to be. So I think they probably should have planned slightly more ahead on that.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
also know it's in May where it can be quite sunny, so you'd go on seasons anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Connor, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, and we will chat to you soon.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right, cheers.
Bye-bye.
Right. Let's get a final one in.
Oh,
Hello, Elsie.
ah,
Hello, welcome back to
Hello.
the bar. How are we?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah. I've actually a lot more relaxed. I'm not sure if you saw how stressed I was at the start, but really, really calm. We're close to the end. I've had most of my drink, so yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
what are you drinking?
Hawkston cider.
Hey, have a rattler.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, it's after Seg 2, so we're allowed. Right. What would you like to talk about? I've got an idea on what you might want to talk about, but go on.
Right, I'm not very happy with Kira Race Co. right now.
Are you not? Please elaborate.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you can figure out why, but I've got a couple of issues with them right now.
Go on.
Right, I don't understand why they can't give Dan Tixon a good car.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't understand it. Why can't they be a good team for once in their life? We could have had a Dan Tixon championship this year. We could have a Dan Tixon championship next year. We could have a Dan Tixon championship the year after, and the years just for the rest of Formula E actually. And we failed.
Yeah, but Hamilton said that Tictum dominance could bore fans. So no. I mean, I get that. Saturday was definitely really frustrating with that persistent issue when Dan was running up near the front.
I was in spoons. I turned it off after.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, how did you feel about their tactic to abandon qualifying on Sunday morning, start at the back to potentially try and go forward from there?
I didn't like it because we didn't win.
Great answer.
I didn't watch qualifying, so I can't lie. I didn't watch qualifying, and I didn't watch that much of the race. I've just watched the highlights.
That's fair.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it seemed to be a decent choice because Roland and Evans did a similar thing and they ended up 1 and 2. It's just that it just didn't work out for Dan.
Yeah, which it should have.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a choice though. Should be the whole qualifying format. It's meant to be there for a reason.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm very much the same, but it's just not right with that. Did you by any chance watch the interview with Jack and Dan on Sunday night that was on the channel? If you haven't watched that already, watch it on the YouTube channel. Staring down the screen. I'm talking to you at home. No,
sorry,
go on.
I've been busy preparing for my headline gig on the 14th of May at the
Ooh,
tickets
lovely.
£8.47, I believe. So
We'll get a banner up.
Please do.
We'll add it in post.
Yeah. Well, as I was talking to Edward Hunter and Kimo Sabi, I can't say that.
Yes.
Before, and I was saying that I think that they should get this is completely unrelated. They should get the Gen 2 cars.
Yep.
And do a support series with them because you're going to have some line about.
Yeah.
Still. So why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I agree.
But then does it go to the point that Madrid pointed out earlier on? Is there enough drivers to think about doing a support series?
Well, there was enough to scam people with FG.
I thought you were going to go for the Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy or whatever it was called back back in the day.
That as well,
yeah. Which I could not tell you a single driver apart from Mitch Evans' brother. He's the only one that I remember from that series. But
there was the guy that lost his legs in a crash, and he raced in that.
I can only think of Billy Munger and Alex Zanardi there. So, and God rest his soul, Alex Zanardi. Obviously, we had the sad news Saturday morning, so rest in peace. All thoughts with his family. Yeah.
But he had a custom car, I believe, and drove it.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it would be quite cool to like go F4, F3, Formula E. I don't know, Formula E2, and then
Yeah.
Formula
The
E.
naming's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's going to need some
The
work.
thing is, Eprix 2 works. Eprix 2
Yeah.
works, which is based on GP2.
Mm.
But yeah.
Call it the. Oh yeah, no. I was also pitching this to them as well. Oh, I'm going to crowdfund a Formula E team. I'm going to
Right.
Formula E zone. I'm going to buy out all the branding, and then I'm going to see.
Great.
this.
I mean, like, if you wanna, put our name out, absolutely brilliant. Go for it. Love it.
Yeah.
How are you gonna win the lottery or something?
No, I'm going to crowdfund it.
Ah, okay. So we all just chip in a fiver.
Yeah,
What?
Bit
what?
more, probably.
What perks do we get from it?
Well, I suppose you can like have a role in the team
Yeah, sure.
or something.
You'd be the strategist, wouldn't you, Pico?
Strategy. I'd love to be the strategist. Right, to put it in
Jack,
perspective,
I would
I went to a motorsport college about 10 years ago. We had a gravity racer project. I was put as team principal for our team, and after 4 weeks, we'd done so little that they split us up and put us in different teams. So that's my experience of having any sort of responsibility whatsoever, apart from tonight, which has obviously gone swimmingly. But yeah.
Jack, what's your job?
What, my job now?
Yeah.
I natter about race cars to people. I stand next to race cars and look pretty.
So unemployed.
Yeah. It feels like it. I hope no one from work sees that video. Well, no one from upstairs. Everyone else from like the downstairs lot, they know how much I hate it. But yeah. But yeah, But yeah, no. Sounds good.
Anyway, do I have any other great ideas to pitch the stream? Trying to think right now. Oh yeah, no. Once we get the team set up, we're gonna have like a good strategist, and we're gonna get.
Okay, so I'm being fired as strategist. What? Yeah. Once you've got the team, I am. You literally named me strategist like 3 minutes ago.
But that was Kyle that suggested that. I said
that was me.
Okay.
In the team. But
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
still not sure about that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Kyle, you can be a strategist if you want. Seem like a nice guy.
Not with my chess. Well, the way I play that, I'm probably the most least strategic. Go watch me play the Formula Legends game. I forget to take my attachments.
Brilliant, love that. Yeah, right, Elsie, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Right.
I'm starting to go fund me soon, probably.
Okay, and good luck for your gig on the 14th of May in Guildford.
At the Boiler in Guildford, tickets £8, doors at 7. We've got 3 other bands as well. If you like live music, come on down.
There you go. There's the plug for you. See you later, Elsie.
Got merch as well. Buy our merch.
All right, lovely. See you later.
Bye.
All right.
And there we go.
There we go. We made it, everyone. We did it. We did it. We can. Oh.
Not sure how much Formula E was at the end there, but it's nice to hear the fans giving their comments on Berlin, how they can improve from a fan experience.
Oh
because
yeah,
I
no,
think don't get
definitely.
watching it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. From what we saw in Madrid, I mean, I was singing Madrid's praises. I wasn't in Madrid, but we did hear some things last time out about Madrid that weren't too good. But it seems that from Madrid to Berlin, it's got worse. is yeah.
And
Just
for a
the long and
circuit that's
short
been
of
on
it.
the calendar ages, you wouldn't expect it, would you?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Final thoughts from you then, Kyle.
Yeah, I think the season's the drivers is back on, isn't it? We're going to have some interesting comments when we come to Monaco, as it's again, I feel like it is very open at the moment on who's going to be leading at the end of that weekend. Obviously, it's interesting to hear Cassidy fans and Dan Tickton fans on how frustrated they are with how the weekend's gone. Obviously, Pepe Marti did very well, got some points on the board. Drugovic got some points on the board, and I'm glad we got to bring that up. It's long overdue. And yeah, I mean, we're past the halfway point now in the season, but it only feels like it's only just begun, and it's fab.
Yeah.
So
that
looking
6
forward
week
to
gap.
seeing how it ends.
Yeah, that 6 week gap did not help. So
No.
no, but it's
Not at
okay.
all.
We've only got 2 weeks to wait until Monaco. Less than that now. We're about a week and a half until practice one on the Friday. So yeah, and that is when we will be back, and I will be back here as well. I won't be on that side of the screen. I'll be in this seat because Jack's staying in Monaco as well. So if this one didn't go badly, surely the next one will. But no. Thank you to all our guests that came on tonight. We genuinely can't do this show without you. It means so much that you guys come on, tell all your stuff about Formula E, and it means that we can natter for about 2 hours every couple of weeks. And yeah, so it's you guys who make the show. Kyle, thank you so much for putting up with me, like how stressed I was at the start and everything like that. So I can relax now. I've got the final little part of my cider ready to go, and and we can have a fantastic night. So yeah, thank you all for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for your company. Good night.
Good night.